Hey there, Echoes. I'm Kaelettus, a proud member of the Builders Guild for Arkheron, and this is the 0.20 Patch Notes Spotlight. Starting things off, we have Grimwald and Vatan rotating out, while Irena and Leodin are moving in. Initially, you might have ideas about what effect this might have on the meta, but I think there's enough in this patch to rattle it even further, so just hold on to those ideas. Spire's mode seems to be remembering its former glory more and more as the cycle progresses, moving away from random loot chests to a more stable item buy system. Eternals start with a budget of 2,000 fragments. Eternal items start at 250 fragments, increasing by 250 for every subsequent Eternal item purchased. Abyssal items start cheaper at 100 fragments and only scale by 25. With a fragment cap, you'll really have to think about which parts of your build are foundational and which can be forgotten and left to the tower. You can't trade much with your fellow Echoes besides maybe a few secrets you've learned from your previous iterations. You can now also share the experience at your leisure as the Spire's game mode has been added to the custom game creation menu. Now, to move on to two game-defining changes coming this patch, Searing damage and Breakouts. I'll start with the easier one to explain, Searing damage. Put simply, it does half damage to Fortitude, but 150% damage to Essence. This damage is currently Karib's special new toy for dealing with enemies with a few too many Essence potions, as currently all his burning over time effects have been changed to this type of damage. Moving on to Breakout. Breakout is the premier answer to being CC chained. It allows you to remove any stuns currently affecting you. There's many interactions, so I'll scroll the list on the screen, but the biggest one to note for me is Adani's Outburst Crown finally seeing a proper, deeper use in her kit. We're seeing a lot of balance shifts here, so I'll overview them quickly here and then isolate some changes I think are the most likely to affect your games. Adani's hooks stun for half as long. Dala's Eternal ability cooldown is lowered by 1 second. Grim receives some changes to Strange Device, but we won't see it in action until his timely return. Hollow Gloomy Crowned is finding some much needed additional sustain as it is now vampiric for 50% of its damage, while Gloomy Swarm is getting an update to its trajectory. Also a stat increase on her set bonus from 20% to 25%. Irena the Queen of Ice is back, and no, that's not Elsa. The duration of her mace's slows are lowered by a half a second, and its damage reduced slightly, but it still maintains its crushing performance. Her iconic Sword Pierce gets its range trimmed at levels 1 and 2, but goes back to full length at tier 3. Her set bonus is also more applicable to additional forms of CC. Leodin comes from the sky, slightly less magnitude, and his stun duration is reduced by half a second. Sanctuary Amulet is now smaller, but it's on that list of breakouts I mentioned earlier, so who knows what powers it now holds. Penelope getting a touch-up, but not much done for the woman in the mirror for now. Rava improved damage on a set bonus by 5% up to 25. Vatan, his metamorphosis coming far more frequently, but that's for him to know and us to find out when he chooses to come back. Echo items seeing a bit of a touch-up, bow shot getting the sweeping projectile treatment, split into 3, no longer wrapping walls, bashing shield doing less bash for its buck, down to 2 bashes per shield bar, scimitar getting some combo boost damage along with the axes. The rest are mainly quality of life changes that I'll scroll on the screen, with keynotes being more touches on hit registration and a sneaky nerf to Subo and Rienchi's set bonuses, forcing them to do math to add their essence, fortitude, and extra armor together. Dogs can't do math though, right? Also, even more meaningful audio direction. Try listening carefully for music changes when you equip the full sets of Dala, Irena, and Leodin, and someday Vatan. I would like to give rare praise to the ever so troublesome John J. Bonfire for the massive amount of bug fixes, and a lot of changes addressing real issues people have seen. I'm obviously biased to Hollow, so any buff to her is absolutely beloved. But lesser known fact, when I started playing, I gravitated to Adani, so seeing her thrive would be a happy sight for me as well. Things to watch out for here, Leodin becoming an auto pick for some teams. An AoE breakout with the already powerful CC immunity might make you leave from the sky sooner than expected. That's about all for Patch Notes today. I'd like to thank you for coming to this 0.20 Patch Notes Spotlight for Arkheron. And, I'll see you around the tower. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, take a second and consider subscribing. I'll be making more videos soon about a bunch of stuff. Also, take a moment and don't miss the
Karen Cup!
that my fellow builder, Atano Circus, and I are throwing down. I will be shoutcasting. He's largely putting up all of the hard stuff because I'm inadequate. There will even be prizes for the winner. Check the official Arkheron Discord for more information.